Hello, welcome to the Wedding Reporter podcast. Today we have one of my dear friends, Carlie Finch with To Travel Anywhere, and we are going to be talking about how to decide where to go on your honeymoon. So, Carlie Finch is the owner of To Travel Anywhere, like I just said, a Nashville-based travel agency specializing in Sandals and Beaches resorts. She has been in business for over 13 years and is married to her high school sweetheart. And she has personally been to every Sandals resort more than once. Welcome, Carlie. Thanks for coming
Hi.
on.
Yeah, thanks for having me today. My passion is
So,
travel, so anytime I can get on and talk to anyone about travel, I'm
yeah.
always so pumped for it.
Oh, yeah. I'm so excited to have you because you are the pro on honeymoons. And so, if anyone listening out there is looking for a honeymoon destination and you and your fiance just cannot decide where to go, this is the topic we're covering today: how to decide where to go on your honeymoon. So, Carlie, there's so many travel options out there. How does a couple narrow down where they want to go on their honeymoon?
Yeah, we always like to connect with the engaged couple the best way that's best for them. Some people, want to email's best, phone is best, Zoom calls are best for some, but really trying to narrow down the option, we base it upon each couple's likes and interests because every single couple is totally different.
Mhm.
Some people want adventure,
Right.
some people want relaxing, some people want history, etc. So whatever it is, we customize each trip based on the couple's budget, likes, and interests.
That's awesome. Yeah, I love that. And there are so many different places that you specialize in. I mean, most of them are like kind of those tropical Caribbean islands and things like that. So, like, can you kind of give us a little rundown of like what some of the differences are between some of the islands that you like or specialize in, and maybe some ideas of like, if you're adventurous, go to the Bahamas or, whatever it might be.
Yeah,
So maybe give us some tips here.
absolutely. So we do specialize with the Sandals and Beaches resorts. We do book anything
Mm-hmm.
anywhere. But the Sandals
Mm-hmm.
resorts, there's actually 18 different sandals
Wow.
options. The newest one
Okay.
actually opens this next year in St. Vincent. But as far as a
Oh,
little bit about each one of the most popular, the all-inclusive Hawaii, which I think you guys have been, is St. Lucia. St.
yes.
Lucia is a very adventurous, fun place. What did you guys think of St. Lucia? Did you like it?
Oh my gosh, we loved it so much. And I think it was because you and I had been working on so many blog posts about St. Lucia that I was like, just kept looking at the photos and I was like, I have to go there. I have to see the Pitones. And that was like actually our first trip after having both kids. So that was a special fun anniversary trip. I think it was like our 7th anniversary. And it was funny while we were there, people were like, oh, like, which anniversary are you celebrating? We were like 7. And they were like, oh, that's odd. Because it's not normally one that you like,
Right, sure,
or
yeah,
is like a big monumental, like, anniversary, like 10 or 20, 15, whatever. But
yeah.
like, so we kind of got a kick out of that. But like, it was so cool because we, got to relax. But then on the last day, we actually hiked up the Pitones, and that is
Oh,
like
that's
one of our.
awesome.
It was like, I can't believe we actually did it. Like, it was so strenuous, like way more strenuous than
It
I thought it
is.
was going
It's
to
like a
be.
full day hike.
Yeah, it is. And it's like so funny because they give you like 2 water bottles before you go up there, but we were like,
We don't
we
need
just
them.
need one or whatever. But then like halfway up, you're like, I know why
I
they
need
gave
some
us 2
water.
water
Guys,
bottles,
give me the water.
and
Do you have more?
why didn't we bring both of
Right.
these? And so
I know,
it was
yeah.
really funny and still like one of our favorite memories as a couple. So we just like had such a great time in St. Lucia, but
What's
Yeah, so I
awesome
guess that
too.
one's like a fun adventurous
Yeah.
destination.
And the view you can see from the height of the top of the pitons is just amazing
Oh,
too. Did
yeah.
you love it?
Oh, yeah.
But yeah, so that's
Mhm.
a
It was
really
so
popular
cool.
pick. We book anything to anywhere. So Europe trips, etc. We do specialize with that. But the
Mhm.
sandals is great because it's all inclusive. So all your tips, all your food,
Yeah.
all your drinks are completely included. Airport transfers, it's taken care of. It's simple, it's easy. You literally check in the resort, put your stuff in the safe, and just enjoy. Like you can eat, if
Mhm.
you're hungry at dinner, you want Italian, but your significant other wants like sushi, eat both. It's all included. You can go as many
Mhm.
times as you want, which is really, really great.
Yeah. I know, I love that about an all-inclusive resort. It's like there are so many options still on site. You don't have to go far. You don't have to think about where you're going for dinner. It's like you don't even have to like put too much thought or planning into your trip because like if you kind of want to just be spontaneous, Sandals just like has everything right there for you to do. And so
Right,
I think it's such a great option because it's like, if you decide to book a trip on your own and you're like, okay, well, I have to do all this research about Airbnbs. Okay, now what areas of the town are even safe?
yeah,
And then, okay, now I have to book dinner plans for myself every night. And then I have to book all the different activities where it's like when you go to an all inclusive resort, all of that's off the table. It's just like you picked the destination and like they have all the options for you and you
right.
can decide that once you're there and just kind of roll with how the trip goes. So that's what I love about it.
Exactly. Yeah, I totally agree. It does make it. My husband and I, we actually went to Aruba for our honeymoon. It was not all inclusive.
Oh.
And kind of like you said,
Oh.
by the time you add up all the costs at the end of the trip, really an all inclusive is really more of a budget friendly, not necessarily because you don't have to worry about
Mhm.
everything too. So what you're going to spend, up front.
Mhm.
When you don't do
Yeah.
all inclusive and you add up all the costs, it really is quite a bit more expensive come the end of your stay, all the restaurants and going out to eat and tipping, etc. So, yeah, that's
Oh,
one
yeah.
one thing that's great about it too.
Mhm. Yeah, for sure. So, are there any so we kind of talked about St. Lucia and hiking the pitons. Um, what are some other like fun sort of adventurous things to do on some of the different islands or like in some of the resort packages?
Oh, that's so hard because, like, each island is kind of known for something different. Even Mexico is
Yeah.
totally different. Costa Rica is totally different.
Oh, yeah.
So one of the really popular things is Exuma Keys in Bahamas, the swimming with the
Oh,
pigs.
yeah. Oh,
Have
that's
you seen
right.
the photos
Yes.
of the swimming with the pigs? That is a really sounds so bizarre, like, but the water is so crystal clear.
Wow.
It's so amazing just to, take a boat out there in the middle of nowhere and the Bahamas Keys and just see the pigs come out and swim with you and stuff. But it's really that's a really popular pick for a honeymoon as well.
Mhm.
Barbados has so much to offer. You got Grenada. You got the brand new St. Vincent. Jamaica has so much adventure and things to do on the
Oh,
island too.
wow.
Waterfalls. You kind of, got the
Oh,
hiking
wow.
and the all different kinds of things to do. Popular pick there is the swim with the dolphins. That's pretty
Oh
popular
my
at
gosh.
Jamaica. But yeah,
That's so cool.
yeah, they're all really amazing options, and really depending on what each couple's likes and interests kind of depends if more beach bum place or a place with more activities is really the best option to go with.
Oh, yeah, for sure. That's really cool. So are there any countries or areas that you should avoid when booking your honeymoon? Or we could even dive into like different seasons and things like that too.
Yeah, seasons that's a tough one too because I mean obviously you have hurricane season.
Right.
which hurricane season can be from like June all the way up to November. So really, it's
Wow.
kind of a hard time area to avoid for traveling, especially honeymooners. You usually want to take your honeymoon the day after the wedding, or some couples will wait a
Mhm.
couple days after the wedding so you can spend time with your friends and family that came in town. But
Mhm.
yeah, really, that's what we're here to help with. If there is any hurricanes, that's why you book with a travel agent. If there is an
Oh,
issue,
yeah.
you reach out, and we're here to help guide you, help. Hey, looks like, the hurricane is going to be an issue. Let's get everything rescheduled either for different dates, or we go over all the options if there is any, severe weather or issues or anything like that. As far
Mhm.
as one thing I would recommend is not to be really, really cheap or frugal on your honeymoon. There's a lot of
Yeah.
deals out there, and there's a reason why it is a cheap deal. It's, obviously it's
Mhm.
because it's not being booked, or and safety, etc. You want to make sure that you book, you get what you pay for. So, just because
Oh,
something
yeah.
may be a little bit more up front, the quality of food, the even brushing your teeth, drinking water from your faucet in the room, etc. Staying at a more luxury hotel, such as Sandals, you have all those things where you don't have to worry about, brushing your teeth, taking a shower, or, the water is all filtered, etc. So you don't have to worry about getting upset stomach, etc. So, I would
Mhm.
definitely avoid kind of being cheap when it comes to your honeymoon. And I know, being on a budget, and we can help work with you on whatever your budget may be. Another thing that's really popular is honeymoon registries, because so many
Oh,
people
yeah.
have their towels and you have your things in the house already. So, you live together before. So, what's really popular that I see is the honeymoon registry, so that friends and family can contribute to your honeymoon,
Mhm.
where you can, make it more special for what you guys like too.
Oh, yeah, for sure. Yeah, I think you brought up a lot of good points in that, like, especially with all those cheap deals. I mean, you see those all over the internet and you're like, are these coming from a trustworthy source?
Right.
And am I being scammed? Or, you know, you just don't know like what type of room you're gonna get. Like, are these pictures actually doing the hotel or resort justice?
Right.
So I think that hones in the point even more of why you really do or you should go with a honeymoon planner, because then it's like you've personally been to these places that you're booking. You know the good rooms, like, you know what kind of experience that these couples can have because you have experienced it yourself. And Sandals and, you know, that whole company, they are a trustworthy source. And so it's like you know what you're getting going into it. And um, I think that's really the beauty of it, booking through an agent and also booking with, a reputable and reliable resort. So I
Absolutely.
think that
Yeah. And you can Google these things online, and okay, sure, I'm gonna do it myself, or but really the photos online can be misleading too. Like, you think it's gonna look a certain way, and you get there and it doesn't look what the reviews looked like online, or what the
yeah.
photos did. But using an actual travel advisor such as myself, who has personally been, has had the experience over 13 years, and I
Mhm.
constantly am traveling to the resorts every year because of the updates, the changes, etc., which helps me help you to make sure that you get the best
Mhm.
trip booked, that the once in a lifetime trip I'm here to help with.
Oh yeah, for sure. Um So, what are some of your top honeymoon destinations and picks? I know like Sandals just opened like a resort just last year, right? Or maybe even this year. And then you said a new one is coming up too. Can you kind of like fill us in on maybe like some of the new amenities that they're adding or design features and excursions and things like that?
Absolutely. So some of the newest Sandals resorts, you've got the brand new carousel. which we
Ooh.
have been to a few times. It really, for those that are like huge foodies, like the food is so amazing. But Carousel is kind of like a European vibe. Almost kind of reminded me of Amsterdam a little bit. It has just that
Cool.
European like feel and vibe to it. Definitely a place you should leave the resort maybe one evening and go explore some of the local nightlife, dining,
Yeah.
etc. I definitely recommend. As far as safety, yeah, it's definitely a safe island to explore and see. But the culture is just so neat. It actually has Carousel. The Sandals Resort itself obviously has all the palm trees and feels tropical, but on your drive to the resort, there's a lot of cactuses. Which is
No
not what you would
way.
think. Yeah, it kind of like has a desert feel to
Cool.
it. So it's, it's a totally different vibe, totally different look, feeling to it than a lot of the other Caribbean islands, which is neat. And then you've
That's
got the
cool.
other new one, the Sandals Dunes River, that just opened as well,
Yeah.
which is in Jamaica. But this
Okay.
resort is, I mean, this is by memory, so I could be slightly, I think over 12 dining options, all including the price. They're
Wow.
super trendy, super great. Again, I'm all about food just because I love food so much. So I always talk about food.
Yeah.
But the resort has golf that's included. You've got
Cool.
each one of the sandals has scuba diving, snorkeling, etc. So there's a lot of different, things to do and nightlife, etc. at the resort. And the newest one, of
Mhm.
course, the Sandals St. Vincent, which opens May 2024, or actually opens in
Ooh,
March. So
exciting.
we actually will be going
Okay.
in May. So I'll be able to share with you more about how that
Oh.
resort is once we go.
Yeah. Oh, that's so exciting. Yeah, I think that's so great, just all the different options, and it just really depends on, like, what feel you're going for, if you want to make it adventurous or if you don't. I know, like, when I went on my honeymoon, I think we just crashed and slept for almost, like, 24 hours after. Like,
Yeah,
our whole first day, I mean, after that, like, the whole wedding crash of just, like, the whole year of planning and then into the wedding and all the stress, but like also all the overwhelm of just like family and friends and celebrating you and your day. And then you just go on your honeymoon and it's like,
yeah,
whew, you get like, it's here, we're married.
exactly. Yeah.
Um, and it's just an awesome feeling. So I know
Yes.
for me, I was like, I wanna do something, like, really relaxing so we can just, like, unwind, and especially in the first few days, but then, later on, we were up for, like, going on more excursions and adventuring and things like that, and so I think kind of, like, mixing it up a little bit, is pretty fun on your honeymoon, and I know there's, like, a lot of zip lines and tours and you can go and sail and like you said, scuba diving and snorkeling. Like the snorkeling was so cool when we went to St. Lucia too. And so there are just so many great, like cool experiences that you can have together as a couple, but then
Yeah,
like also some great ways to just like kick back and relax too. So I think
definitely.
kind of mixing it up.
And I think you brought up a really
That's
good point because, like, the wedding is so much hustle and bustle of planning and everything. And I feel like a lot of couples have that same type of response as far as like you're ready just to celebrate first, just the two of you. And you're so
Mhm.
worn out. So sometimes doing some of those other like European, Australia, Hawaii, even, which is amazing, but
Mhm.
it's such a long flight. Um, it is
Yeah.
nice to do that quick, shorter flight to the Caribbean or Mexico where
Mhm.
you can relax and have time together versus that, all day traveling and then you're tired not only from the wedding planning all year, but now you're exhausted from the super long flight. And then
Mhm.
yeah, it's really a popular pick for just going the all-inclusive Caribbean or Mexico honeymoon because you're able to finally relax and you're able to finally celebrate just
Mhm.
the two of you and just an amazing destination to be pampered and make it all about
Yeah.
the two of you, which is great.
Oh yeah, for sure. Um, tell us just a little bit about the overwater bungalows and that whole
Oh
situation
yeah.
on
The
some of the different resorts because you send me these photos that we publish on the blog and I am like, take me there. And then there's all these butler options. Like maybe just give us like a quick little rundown of like those kind of more like luxurious packages that you can get
Absolutely.
at the resorts.
Yeah, the overwater bungalows, for anyone who has not seen any photos of them, they're absolutely amazing. Okay, so the overwater bungalows are in Tahiti, but it is a full day, a forever long flight to get to Tahiti and the time difference, and then
Oh,
they're not
wow.
all inclusive. So Sandals came along with, hey,
Oh,
why don't we do overwater bungalows that here at the resorts? So what's amazing
yeah.
about them, again, it's a shorter, quicker flight. You're there. You don't have really the super long time difference like you do flying forever to some of those other further destinations. And the
Mhm.
Sandals Overwater bungalows have the glass floor in the rooms. So you
That's so
literally
cool.
you can like lay in the bed and at night you can turn the light on. You can see the fish swimming below the
Oh
glass
my
floor,
gosh, that's so
which is so
cool.
cool. And each room has a hammock outside, so you can lay out there and you can listen. We actually, when we stayed in the room itself, we spent the night out there and watched the stars. You could sit out there and do that. But what's
Amazing.
great is that you have your own butler who will bring food, breakfast, lunch, dinner, snacks, everything on your private patio. And they'll set it up. Actually, the room is so amazing. It's like you don't even want to leave to explore anything else because it's like once you stay in one of those rooms, it's so perfect and so beautiful. You have an outdoor shower with privacy curtains and then a soaking tub. And then, yeah, you can just jump right off your pier into your private patio, right into the ocean water, too. It's absolutely beautiful.
That sounds like a dream. So yeah, if we're talking about different options here. We kind of talked about some more adventurous options. I feel like this is the more relaxing
It
option. If
is.
you want to stay in your room, if you want to be pampered, if you want ocean views right outside your door, but also, yeah, with like, I don't know. It just sounds so amazing and relaxing.
What's really popular too, because like you said too, it is such a relaxing place and it's like you don't even want to leave because it's so perfect. So what a lot of couples are
Yeah.
doing are split stays. So they'll spend their first few
Oh,
days in just like a luxury, a room, still do all the excursions, activities, and then you don't feel bad that you left your amazing room to go do these adventures.
mhm,
Plus, it does make it a little bit more budget friendly. Staying, your first few nights in the luxury room, and then doing a split stay in your last couple nights, staying in the overwater
mhm.
bungalow. So you get to, experience all that, which is a really popular pick for honeymoons to do that.
Yeah, I think that's a great idea to split the time, and that is very budget friendly. So then, if your budget doesn't allow for an overwater bungalow for the whole trip, like stay in it for part of the trip and then stay in another room for the other part. And I think that's cool too because then you get to like explore different areas of the resort. Or
Hmm.
I know like when we were in St. Lucia, there were 3 different Sandals resorts that you could go to. So then it's like, okay, once you pick your destination, there's even different resort options. So then you
Yeah.
have to keep continuing to narrow it down then and then looking at all of the different amenities within each resort. But the cool part was I loved doing this when we went to St. Lucia is that we could travel to any of the other 2 resorts and do dinner there or hang out there pretty much whenever we wanted, which was a really cool thing within the package that we were able to do. So it's not like you're just locked into like one resort and you have to stay there the whole time. It's
Right.
like you have these other options and like different scenes that you can go and see. And I know Sandals does that in a lot of other destinations where they have multiple resorts kind of on different locations within the island. And so it's like if you do wanted to split time between those, like that's definitely an option as well.
That's true. Yeah, it is correct. And it really does depend. Like Jamaica has, I think 8 Sandals resorts now. And not
Wow.
all of them are close together though. So they don't provide the
Okay.
transfers between all the resorts because the drive. So from Negril to Otros
Yeah, that makes
Rios is
sense.
like a 6-hour drive. So they
Wow.
don't include the
Okay.
transfers, but you do have the option if you wanted to go dine. You could take a taxi, but it just would be way too expensive. So doing a split stay for
Mhm.
something like that in Jamaica, where you could do Negril and then Otros Rios or Montego Bay,
Mhm.
they're all amazing options, but they are a little bit further apart. Where
Mhm.
Saint Lucia, you have the Sandals resorts, but they're all within 5 to 20 minutes away from each other. So they offer the shuttle where
Yeah.
you can eat, drink, and play at all three of those, which, like you said, it's almost, so much included. Like, what do you eat? What do you do? But it is
Yeah.
really cool perk to have that at the Sandals in St. Lucia.
Oh, yeah. I thought that was really cool. Yeah, we loved that. We ate like a nice dinner at one of the other resorts, and it was just cool to kind of
Nice.
explore like the different feels of it. So,
That's so
yeah,
awesome.
I know. And to wrap up, did you have any more tips as far as narrowing down your honeymoon destinations or anything else
One
that you wanted to
tip
share?
I would like to throw out there because people don't really
Yeah.
think about it is your passports. A lot of For anyone who has not gotten
Yes.
their passports, make sure you get them sooner than later. It's really misleading
Oh,
because
yeah.
if you Google and you look up passport, it's saying turnaround time is 8 weeks. That has not been updated since the COVID. The actual turnaround is
Wow.
3 to 4 months for people to get passports back.
Ooh,
You can
wow.
pay to
Okay.
have it expedited, but even expedited service right now, you're getting passports back in like maybe 8 to 9 weeks. So for those
No
who are
way.
planning international travels, hopefully you contact me for help and guidance on it. But for
Yes.
passports, make sure to apply for them sooner than later because it is taking a while to get those back. And you want to make sure you have them for your travels for your honeymoon.
Wow. That is a really good tip. Did not know it was taking or backed up that long. I mean, I have heard that it has been taking longer because of COVID, but, like, did not think that it was, like, 6 months or more, so that's
Right.
good to know. Um, I definitely had a passport debacle when we went on our honeymoon, but I'll save that, story for maybe I'll do another podcast
We will,
episode on
yes.
that.
We'll have to do
Share
another
that
follow-up
story.
podcast and we'll talk about that because I want to hear.
I know, yes, and we, like, learn from my mistake. Don't, I had to get a rush one, and thankfully it came in time, but yeah.
Good. Yes, yes. Well,
So don't
um,
be me, and, some engagements are less than 6 or 9 months, so if you're thinking you might get engaged soon and wanna go to a destination that's outside of the US, might wanna get your passport now. Good heat of warning, Carly.
absolutely. Sooner the better,
Yeah.
especially for the procrastinators and definitely apply for it now. Get it
Oh,
taken
yeah.
care of.
For sure. Well, this was so awesome. I'm so glad that you just shared all of your tips about where we should go on our honeymoon and what people can do at some of the different destinations that you specialize in. So, thank you so much for coming on. People can find you at To Travel Anywhere on Instagram, right? And it's a two, like a
Right.
number two.
Yep, the number two.
Um, Yep, and your website is the same,
Mm-hmm.
totravelanywhere.com, and I know, um, you host a lot of virtual parties too, where you kinda
I
give
do.
couples the rundown of, different destinations and how they can book
Absolutely.
with you.
Yeah, yeah. So
Um,
anyone who's unsure and wants to learn a little bit more, or even learn more about destination weddings, each month we do have a different virtual webinar that you can find out on Nashville Bride Guide's event page. It has all the information on
yeah,
that. Yay!
awesome, yeah, and another really quick tip too is that Carly's services are free when you are booking with a, resort. That's
Yeah,
correct, right?
With all the all-inclusives, Sandals Beaches, Caribbean, Mexico, it is free to book with us. For more exotic or
Amazing.
atypical trips, we do have a planning fee, but that's just
Mhm.
contact me for information on that. The planning fee is just because there's a little bit more involved in
Mhm.
the multi-travel destinations for Europe, your train, etc. There's a little bit more that goes into planning. But for the Sandals and Beaches, Caribbean and Mexico, there is no hidden fees and no extra cost.
Amazing.
And we're here to help with the best promotions too. We've worked with Sandals long enough that we're able to work the best deal, the best priced for you. So we're
Wow.
here to help with that.
Yes, another huge perk of planning with a travel agent, travel planner,
Exactly.
so
Yes,
thank
absolutely. And
you.
yeah, thanks for having me today. I really appreciate it.
Yes, this has been so awesome, and yeah, go find Carly, follow her on Instagram. She has so many great tips, and reach out to her if you are looking for a honeymoon destination. So, thanks for chatting with us today, Carly.
Yeah, thanks for having me and have a
Yeah.
wonderful, wonderful week.
Thanks, you too. Bye.
Bye.
Thanks for tuning in to the Wedding Reporter podcast. I hope you learned a little bit and had fun today. To find more resources and podcast episodes, visit NashvilleBrideGuide.com for more information. And as always, click the subscribe button and leave us a review. Until next time, I'm Alyssa DeChico, signing off.